Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Crypto Lab with Alex. As every Thursday, we are going to go over a little bit of macro developments, and then we will dive into the latest development on the crypto space. I have, as you can see, widen a little bit this view on the charts as some of the viewers requested. Let's dive in and let's start with a little bit of a news, and then we are going to go over the macro world events, and then we will start to dive into a crypto space. Let me start with um, let's start first with a little bit of macro. I will enlarge this picture for you so that you can see it. I hope it is okay. So I would like to, if you can type a feedback, maybe now if you see charts better, because I have received a few requests for that. So it will be good if you type in now and let me know if you can type that into the chat box, and of course your questions and requests for charts, which we are going to do later. So would you please just type in if the charts seems to be wider and bigger at this moment. That will be nice to know. Let's start with the 10-year yield. So it is the one of the charts, as I said, which is the most looked in the world currently. We have seen a bounce from the support level. We looked at the previous crypto labs, and apparently we went up from 1.3 to 1.36, so 1.1413 to 1.3, already 1.4 almost. So the yields are moving up on the latest job reports last Friday, which came better than expected. And that is basically means that market is expecting Fed to address these possible moves in the jobs report, in a sense that if we see maybe even next one to be that good, market will really start to price in possible rate increase in 2022 or a tapering announcement. So I don't think actually they will taper, but anyhow, let's see. If we go on a smaller time frame, we will see that this is clearly a five-wave move from the these lows here. So you can see clearly an impulsive development here. We are going to see a little bit of a correction, that's for sure, but potentially I will expect at least we are going to see some type of an ABC pullback up to this 1.5, 1.6, and if we continue higher in the next couple of months, we might actually see even a touch of this 1.92% on the upside, and then we will go from there. So let's not go too much into the future. On the European front, I'm usually looking the price chart. It is inverted of yields, but it is the same chart. If the price chart going up, yields are moving down. This is a German 10-year Bund, which is a kind of a benchmark of what is going on with yields in European Union. If you look the crypto labs from the last couple of months, I have been starting explaining this chart already a couple of months ago. And I'm looking for some type of a consolidation, because with these new COVID variants and lockdowns, we might go back and forth with this inflation deflation narrative. But finally, under some of the data I'm looking, we might be going out of this COVID situation maybe June, July of 2022. And potentially we might develop a triangle or a sideways consolidation, which actually says that we are going to have one more deflationary cycle, at least in the European Union, and this can trigger also some type of a bigger macro event, or we might see expansion of the balance sheets due to some other economical issues. Okay, so these still comply with my overall outlook, and I'll of course have it as long as I see this consolidates and this support zone holds. So on that front, as you can see, things are not changing so rapidly. So we have to have a little bit more patience to identify firmly this triangle event. So let's go to see what is going on the dollar index. And dollar index made a small pullback. I will not still label this as a B wave. I still think either we are in some type of a triangle in a B wave. If we see a little bit more upside, I will switch this wave 5, which I had here earlier, a little bit higher, and then I will expect a B wave pullback. So we are moving a sideways for now, so it can also be some type of a triangulation, or with a new high it will be a completion of this A wave, and then we might see some type of a consolidation. Anyhow, if we start to break hard above these resistance levels, then we will have to anchor a B wave here and look for a continuation on the upside on the dollar. So dollar index still looks good, moving up, and I still think until the end of the year we are going to see some type of a corrective move on the upside, because if you look the whole sequence, you will see that after a 5-wave move with a small truncation here, we still didn't actually completed what we actually look as a potential ABC zigzag on the upside. This might turn afterwards into a more complex, so we might see even more upside progression, but let's, as I say, go one wave at a time. And I think that I would rather say inevitability of this upside movement possibly can be seen, especially if now or a little bit later we break this 93 levels resistance. It's as you can see, very strong resistance here, and any break above in an impulsive fashion will indicate we will go to the next one, which comes around 96. So from this perspective, dollar looks good for the continuation, as I explained. And let's switch and see what's going on gold, because gold has seen a sharp move on the Sunday open, I think. And as we all in trading analysis, including Bennett and Terry, which are covering the stock service, we all agreed that gold is not ready to move on the upside, especially that this sequence didn't develop in a 5-way move. So we treat this still as some type of a corrective pullback. We are not sure, are this going to develop into some type of a triangle here, which will then be a more kind of a time-consuming affair into wave A, maybe up in B, C, D, and E, or we're going to break this support, which will indicate we're going to go a little bit lower more in gold towards the end of 2021, and then maybe start to confirm some type of a reversal signature, which might then actually push gold further towards target. So as long as we trade in this kind of a sideways area, looking at this sequence above this 1,375, gold is pretty much kind of a safe in this type of a consolidation, which might go back and forth before we go close to this time, as I said, potentially end or December, November 2021. So we have it on the scan. We kind of report this. Bennett is doing that every night for the clients of the stock service, and we do cover it for the members as well on the weekly webinars. So we are tracking this closely because of the macro levels and also because of the potential trades that might unfold or offer as an opportunity. Silver did the same. So silver came to our level and our levels, and we were also very vocal about this. I still don't know if this is a triangle or some type of a 3-3-5. So we might have a small pullback and then a further move down, which will be one of the rare C waves in the expanding flat as the expanding diagonal. So I'm not still interested to have any positions here until I see any confirmation on the upside. So silver still, as you can see, is in a sideways consolidation. And if the dollar starts pushing higher, we might see even lower levels in gold and silver. So that's a little bit of macro. I will just say that according to our wave counts from the stock service, Nasdaq is going to challenge some very interesting levels soon. And this should be also watched from the perspective of the crypto world. So let's dive into cryptos and let's look what is going on. We all know what happened with the bill. Actually, a very old senator objected against the amendments, so the bill was unchanged regarding crypto industry. I've read, and there you can find on this crypto desk, our coin desk, news that this still might be changed. There is some articles here I think I have seen. There is still some chances that they can alter this, so this left to be seen. For now, we don't have much of a news. We are looking for actually, they state that the bull market is on the menu. Everything is going up. Not much of a, so there is still time to fix Congress crypto tax mess. So I think it's a good to look. We are not sponsored by CoinDesk. I just find it a nice kind of a way just to be in touch of what's going on daily on this crypto space. Let's go to the charts and let's look a little bit of Bitcoin dominance chart. We have seen a rather a five-wave move potentially developing. I will glare this because I want to show you the latest development from this potential correction. So we don't identify this usually as an impulsive move on the upside. We would treat this from the Elliott wave perspective as a wave A, triangle in B, and move up in C in the fourth wave. So as you can see, we had a sharp move down. If I remove this, and then you saw a small pullback and then a break of this corrective channel, which basically for now implies that the downward movement in a Bitcoin might get a little bit more traction as long as we trade in this area towards these levels, which we are looking basically as the finalizing move down in this fifth wave. And for now, it's going good. And we need to see a little bit of acceleration here towards these levels to basically confirm the fifth wave development and potential target around 35, 37, from where we might see Bitcoin start moving a little bit more aggressively on the upside in this dominance chart. We have seen cryptos moving up, so that's clear. So I will go in a minute into that. And I would just like to show you this total crypto market cap chart, which basically stays the same as the several charts we cover. We identify this as a move 1, 2. So the question is, we are completed in this wave 3, or we're going to go higher into this 2618? So it's still unclear. I still can identify this as a sideways development yet in some type of a fourth wave. So we retraced 618%, which is the usual fib level with the 50% for retracements. So I cannot tell you anything with certainty here. I'm just observing. I'm also watching this RSI, what he did before, and there is clearly a resistance there as well. I'm not implying it's going to go down. It might continue on the upside. So we will see. I'm kind of in a neutral stance yet. And if we see a move and break of these levels, definitely the probability will increase. We're going to go to the next fib level, um, which is around 5.85 trillion. Hard to imagine, but the chart says like that. And that will be a move which will take some months. We cannot go to this type of inflows, especially I think in this situation, which I think portrays a little bit of more risk in a table, especially from the stock market. Okay, so let's dive into Bitcoin chart. And as you know, my overall outlook was first outlook, so the one which I was actually tied to was a bearish one temporarily. So let me be clear, I'm not bearish on the Bitcoin. I'm just looking from the Elliott wave perspective, what is going on here, and try to assemble with all our knowledge a potential path and pattern recognition, and that's actually potential entries for the for continuation of this trend. The question is if this trend is over here and we are seeing displaying a potential impulsive move on the upside, or we're going to find resistance here and we're going to continue to move downside towards the lower levels. So that riddle can be solved very easily. From the bearish perspective, we can treat this as ABC on the upside, reaching this very thick fib level, and we are dropping actually from this zone this morning. So I will show you that on a smaller time frame. So on this view, this is still going to portray some type of a fourth wave consolidation. This still can morph into a triangle, although it is not ideal for the triangle development, but I will be more directional if we see a 5-wave impulse below this 40K support, and then that will revive a potential move down to 22K on this Bitcoin chart. Okay. So in line with that, I will just show you one thing that I published on my Twitter today, not tomorrow. So there is a few distinctive things on this weekly um, technical analysis. As you can see, I don't have any waves here. This is just a couple of moving averages, which are actually looked from institutional level on the higher time frames. And as you can see, I note that actually every correction from the Bitcoin part actually touched this lower bound of this RSI lately, and the 200 moving average on weekly, as you can see. So it was very well kept, and every low we touched down around 30 mark. We did bounce pretty much higher afterwards. So we did that in the latest correction here around 3K. We did that here as well, also around 3K. We did that in January 2015, also there. Also interesting enough, this correction was also timed into January of 2019 as well. So this one came around May, I think April, May of 2020 or March. I don't want to go now in a smaller time frames, but what you can see here on the RSI, it's clearly this red line is, if you look, the movement is actually holding this further advance. So we have seen almost every time the pullbacks from this red line on the RSI. So let me just glare this picture so you can see it a little bit more clearly, which actually coincided with the move down again in this 200 moving average kiss. Okay, so I have also published this on my Twitter feed a couple of months ago, and just as a dire warning that we came pretty much on the upside, as we did in the before development. And actually this unfolded well to the upside. So as you can see, we are coming very closely to this resistance levels from where we had previously some continuations on the downside. I don't say it will happen again. So this test will be around 20K, maybe even a little bit below. But we need to cross this line and kind of lean on it to make some support, as we did here. As you can see, when we broke finally on the upside, we did a nice run and then we back to kiss it, and then we continued toward the 64K. And that actually happened every time. So here, the break of this red line also implied a move on the upside, and then a retest, a couple of retests actually before we posted these 2017 highs. So this is a nice thing to watch, I think, because there is some regularities here. So on the bullish continuation, I will wait this to be broke and retest, and then a continuation on the upside. So it's clearly a nice display of how this correlation between the moving averages and the RSI and some of these trend channels work. Also we have this trend line, as you can see here now, resistance, which was actually proved in the past. We hold here, we dropped, we hold, and now we are testing it from the other side. So even if we get some correction, which I will explain a little bit later, on the bullish side, we will have a small drop, and then again, this trend line will become a hurdle, and that's how I think we will form a first 5 waves on the upside. So let's switch to the bullish case. And the bullish case, in my perspective, is pretty much relatively clear. Because if this is all of the wave 4 of the lesser degree, so we move the target for this wave 3 a little bit on a secondary fib ratio, which is in this case 2618 around and between 150 and 170K, we should see a clear display of a 5-wave move. So this 40K to 42K might provide a very significant support for these two occasions. So it will be a first retest, and then it will be a second one when and if we see a 5-wave sequence developing. And if I see a 5-wave sequence developing around 52, 56K on the upside, I will definitely have to say that my original bearish case is wrong, and I will have to throw a towel and actually potentially forget this additional move to the downside and treat this as a complete correction and label this as a 4th wave. And then the pullbacks will be something which I will be looking for a potential buy around this 40, 45K for the further move on the upside. So the move on the upside might be pretty much brutal until the end of the year. We might reach 100K or a little bit less. If we see a 5-wave move development and a pullback in a secondary wave, so this third wave on the upside might reach 100 and 110K before we see another correction on the upside. So definitely things are clear here as regards of the resistance. We need to actually pass these previous highs to confirm the reversal. But anyhow, these developments here, I think from the further, as the forecasting method is concerned, as of course needs to display a desired 5-wave move on the upside to confirm a potential reversal, and then this correction in a 3-wave move will definitely be something to be watched for the further expansion towards this target. So I think we will need a couple of weeks more to definitely determine what is going on here. I'm not clear, and I will say that openly. I'm still looking pretty much for this development, but I can be pretty much in the couple of next, I will say, week or two, I could change my opinion and say I was wrong. And actually, when I see a 5-wave move, I could switch to potentially a bullish wave count. And that's, I think, Elliott wave is pretty darn good because it gives you a possibility to quickly change your outlook if you see something which is not in line with the previous analysis. But of course, as I said a couple of weeks ago in the Crypto Lab, then I will state my original analysis was wrong, and that I will change my outlook for the more bullish development. So I think things are clear there. So if anybody needs a clearer explanation, so please note me in the text box. I will also say that you should not look pretty much for the daily close above this 200 moving average. You should look for a weekly close. That is a little bit more, has a little bit more strength. How do we close this week? Is it going to be above or below this 200 moving average? Okay, let me just go quickly for Ether. I think Ether is a little bit in a better situation, especially if we look Ether Bitcoin cross. So Bitcoin Ether cross is something we have been pretty much well on for our members. So we are looking for a continuation of the Bitcoin Ether dominance over the Bitcoin. So we treat this as a triangle with an impulsive move up. So for now, we are going to stay constructive, which means also that Bitcoin can move lower and Ethereum can stay in some type of a sideways consolidation. And if you look perspective of the Ether from this 200 moving average as well, you see clearly that on Ether chart we are trading above it in most of the time, and especially this move on the upside is still implying that we are above that. So if we see by any case a further move to the downside, we might stay pretty much sideways on Ether before we start to move on the upside target, which is around 7-8K, which I will show you on the higher time frames. So if this starts to push further on the upside, and this is all of the way forward, then we will go and continue challenging these previous highs, and this pullback should go back around 4K, 3,800, 700, which will offer another opportunity for the test of this 6,000, 7,000 levels before we then go into a larger correction and then eventually go further on the upside. So let me just show you this on a smaller time frames. And as you can see, Bitcoin, we noted our members about this tick fib ratio cluster zone. We are starting to move on the downside. I put here an expanding leading diagonal, which still it's not confirmed. I'm waiting this pullback, potentially to put some small shorts for this ABC, because I think this 42K will be challenged soon. But if we start to move impulsively further from this very important support levels, then we have to change this in a more impulsive price action, okay, potentially reaching even a lower boundary around 3740K. So we will see how this will develop. For now, I like to be conservative, as you know, so I will go with the small ABC first, and then if this starts to break these levels and a measured move, I will start to look a little bit more downside at first, and if we penetrate even lower this 40K, then I will be seriously worried what can happen next. Okay, so I try to keep this in line, not going too much into the future, and the same things goes for Ether. While I think if the Bitcoin starts to move lower, Ether will stay a little bit more positioned for a consolidation. From the bullish perspective, this type of the consolidation might be a lesser degree wave 4. So we went, and if we calculate a move from this side in a wave one, some type of a flat in a wave two, like a double bottom thing, and then a progression on the upside in a wave three, a sign of a three-wave pullback to this 40K, 42K, and a continuation towards this 52K, 54K will definitely question my previous analysis, and it will make me to consider to buy Bitcoin on this pullback for a further continuation. So we came to the point that all goes what is going to happen in the next week or so in this area, okay, as this methodology is concerned. So I'm going to look very carefully how the developments will unfold in the next couple of days. And the same thing for Ether, okay. I would say on the other side that some of the cryptos are challenging my levels as well. Aave is still within the confined borders that we looked, but some of them are displaying potential reversal. So ADA also is in some type of, if I see a five-wave move on the upside, then the pullback will be also signal for me to buy it. But for now, I have to stay still conservative because I don't see a five-wave move. This can still form some type of a triangle or a retest of these levels here. If I see a five-wave move challenging this top, then correction will definitely will be interesting for me for a further move on the upside towards some of these targets. So we are still, despite this move, consolidating. And I'm very keen to have Aave or sorry ADA in my holdings, but I would look for a first resolution, a little bit more clarity regarding these developments here. Aave is in the same situation. It is responding very well now for the measured move. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that I have some response from the indicated fib cluster, which kind of agrees with this RSI on the upside on the daily level. So I'm just looking in that perspective. Are we gonna have some type of a confirmation on the bearish side, or are we going to continue higher, break these key levels, and then I will have to turn bullish on Aave. So pretty much the same situation in the all of the cryptos except Polkadot and Matic. Some of these cryptos are displaying a potential developments in a five-wave move, which will be also a signal for me to be involved. For now, I don't see that in Matic. It still needs to prove me a little bit more on the upside for me to buy the pullback. And also Polkadot made a nice run on the upside. And as you can see, I'm looking this daily, weekly for the longer term positioning. I'm not so much interested in a daily trading because I think it's a pretty much futile thing on the long run. Okay, so let me just show you a Polkadot which developed a nice reversal in a potentially five-wave development. So I need a little bit more of a Polkadot to be interested to buy this pullback. For now, this starts to look as a five-wave move, but still not completed. So of the overall chart, on the daily, I can treat this as a secondary wave pullback. It still can morph into something else, but for now, I'm going to stay constructive and look potentially for a little bit more upside, which will be a signal for me that actually this was a reversal signature and this was the final low in Polkadot. I hope you find this analysis useful for you guys. If you like to see what we do, join us for a trial membership at Trading Analysis. I think it's around 27 bucks, and you get 14 days insight what we do. And definitely we are focused on the higher time frames. We don't much cover this intraday trading, so if you expect that maybe this service is not for you, But if you are more in a swing and an investor trading basis, we might be a good solution for you because we have a great risk management and also a plethora of things that we offer with our Discord channel and community, cryptocurrency repository, trade desk, and many other stuff which you can find. So also we have a stock service, which is, you can look our trading analysis YouTube channel on Wednesday. If you, Bennett and Terry does a beautiful job in covering that. So you can also look some of the videos on our channel. And every Wednesday we do a live session also covering some stocks and some other stuff on a Wednesday stream. So let me see your question and say hello to you guys. Let me see what is your requests. There is too many, guys. I cannot go all over it. So just pick one if you can. Hey Wilson, okay, Dogecoin. I don't know if they can pump. I see a question: can altcoins like ADA, Ether, and Sol move up while BTC moves sideways and down towards 30K? I don't know. Maybe as we see this in a Bitcoin dominance chart, but I will say maybe that's a little bit overstating. I don't know if they can still continue to pump very strongly on the upside. So let's see that. So let me just see some of your requests. Okay, so I see some of your, so let's look Crow. I think I had some requests from some friends in Serbia regarding Crow. And Crow, from my perspective, it looks, actually, it follows what we have been looking. This needs to develop further into a five-way move. So as you can see, this was a not very common wave structure. You can squeeze some type of a leading diagonal here because there is a 5 waves up and a pullback, and then another 5 waves up and a pullback. So this might be treated as a leading diagonal, but then usually some type of a support levels, when you have this type of diagonal moves, will be at the previous fourth wave lows. And if you can count from this upside, you can see a 5-wave move down. So I still treat this as a 3-wave pullback until I see more. Okay, so I need to see a 5-wave move on the upside, and then I can treat Crow to be very bullish. But for now, I cannot do that. I have to stay within the 3-wave movement. And if I see a break of this consolidation, I'm afraid Crow might test this support here, because then you will have a measured move, and then it is potentially ready to flip on the upside. We are also trading around 68, 67 on the RSI, which is pretty high. So let's see what will unfold here. So for now, I treat this as a corrective move until it's proven differently. Okay. Alec would like to see FET. I don't think I looked at this one. Yes, I did. So as you can see, I already had this as a fourth wave completion for now. So this will be an ABC, some type of a triangle or an X wave, and we don't still have a five wave development. We have a 1, 2, wave 3, 4, and 5. So it's looking good now. It actually surpassed this corrective channel, and it's surpassed it after consolidating a little bit, as you can see here a little bit more. So that's a good sign for now. So I will be looking to see a little bit more continuation, and then it will be definitely, we are also trading on this RSI around 73, 72. So maybe even a small pullback, consolidation, and then a continuation. So for me, it looks good for the potential further development on the upside. Okay, so for now it looks good. Solana. Solana has an interesting chart from the Elliott wave perspective. So as you can see, Solana from the beginning had a nice move up in a wave 1, pullback in a wave 2, and very clear wave 3 development, actually reaching this 1618 fib ratio, which we usually look, and then we are trading sideways. So if we are going to go for the right look, fourth wave should be a little bit more in time. Okay, as you can see, the magnitude of this wave 2 here and the RSI. So I still cannot confirm Solana will break on the upside. This might be a triangle. Okay, so I don't like the time relation here between the wave 2 and wave 4, but I'd be pretty much wrong. On this one, I will wait a little bit more. It definitely has some type of a 1, 2, up at 3, 4, and 5. So it can form some type of a 5-wave sequence, and then pullbacks will be interesting for me. But as long as we trade sideways, I will still leave an open possibility, which needs to be confirmed. We might have an A or a W, some type of a X wave developing here in an A, down in B, up in C, and then a reversal. So I'm going to watch it very carefully. Otherwise, this will be a completed triangle. We challenged this high, made a small correction, and continue higher. So I'm still watching it for now. As you can see, this wave 4 will be a little bit shorter in time than this wave here. 38% retracement is around this previous wave 4, which we usually look as a potential support, and also equality of this complex correction will be around there. So this is a very specific target if it is reached. If not, I will have to anchor this wave 4 and then treat this for a future bullish development in this possible wave 5. So I'm still kind of watching developments, and as you can see from there is actually pluses and minuses in this chart. Okay, but still a lot of upside available. If this makes a 5-wave move, small pullbacks, I think that lots of upside are available from here or from this zone. Okay. What is this UBT, Ricky? Let's see UBT. I didn't look this one. I think I'm bright. No, I didn't. So let me look at it from the higher time frames. Well, this is pretty much already an impulsive chart, which we might treat as some type of a 1, 2, up in 3, some type of a wave 4 and 5. So we still a little bit need a little bit more data in respect of putting some waves here, because as you can see, there is not lots of history. This low, I don't know if it was lower, because that will change, but there is only 3 waves up, and this might be a flat, so I will have to check this low. Anyhow, it works impulsively on the upside, and if it starts to continue higher, this will be a wave 2, and then we will see a 1, 2 as well. But this is a very suspicious development here. That will be a very short wave 2. So for now, I will go that this is some type of a wave 5, and I will be kind of looked for a small pullback, not a big one, maybe down to this zone. If this starts to continue higher, then this will be a 1, 2, and off we go. Okay, so that's a very powerful structure. If all of this was just a small wave 2 and we are developing another wave 2, this might abruptly continue very big on the upside. So just watch it. For me, this is still not a probability for continuation. I will still look what's going on there and then see if if we see a sideways or a little bit more downside, and then it will be interesting for me to start maybe to be involved in this one. So let me scroll and see what you wrote on this STX, okay? Yeah, pretty much the same thing, impulsive wave structure, 5 waves down, which means potentially we might still either consolidate or have a little bit lower, um, but definitely looks good from the Elliott wave perspective. So we might either anchor here, but this is a straight 5-wave move. I will still not, sometimes you have this A, small b, and big C. I will more go for a little bit more consolidation and then some type of a continuation. So as long as we trade above this wave count invalidation level, I think this one is safe as long as it starts to consolidate potentially. But for now, it looks good. What is AX? Oh, so this is the infinity. Okay. Yeah, this one starts to look pretty bullish. I had this, I don't know what is this. I had this as a potential wave 1 and 2, so we might be in a wave 3. The RSI is pretty much on the upside, but with this type of a push, you never know. It can stay for some time on this level. Alternatively, we are close to wave 1, but I want to see a confirmation. So I need this to break further, because if we are in a third of a third, this one will definitely be very soon pretty much higher. So let's see what is going to happen on this one. Yeah, let's go with the XRP and let's finish there. XRP went on the upside. It's trading around 1 now. From that perspective, I cannot change this triangle yet. So we might be with a finished sequence a little bit more sideways. Maybe this will be A, up in B, down in C, D, and E, and then off we go. So I'm still watching it. I'm not kind of in a rush here, because on the higher time frames, you see this is still some type of a sideways price action. So I want to see clearly a 5-way move to challenge these resistance levels, and then a pullback will be of an interest for me for the further move on the upside. So for now, as you can see, the whole wave sequence is a little bit strange. Because we had some impulse move up on the upside, then a consolidation, clearly a 5-way move here in a wave 3, and then a wave 4, potentially either finding its low here or a little bit later. But it still look good. I mean, for the longer term hold, even from lower levels, it still look good, because I think we have one more sequence on the upside. Okay, guys, so that will be all for this crypto lab. I hope you liked it, and hit the like button. Of course, we need, I will not say we need, but it will be nice if you do that for this content that we offer, because it's going to lift this and give it to a more viewers on the list on the YouTube. Thank you on that, of course. We're going to continue to track our outlooks, and we will inform you what is going on in the next Crypto Lab every Thursday. Stay well. COVID cases are rising, so be careful. And see you next week, guys. Thank you for being with Trading Analysis. Bye-bye.